Okay, everyone, another 2020 Ram 3500 Pro Master. These are Amazon vans that we have account with them, that they're here for repairs and services. And this one is here for brake check, and drivers reported that the front brakes are noisy. So we're gonna start from the front brakes and pulling the wheels and inspecting the wheels and the brakes, I mean, and we'll continue. It's 21 millimeter. We're gonna go pull the other wheel off. We're gonna put some mineral oil into the gun to help produce its max power. Front wheels are out, and so don't know how visible it is. They're very rusty because they use them in New Jersey, obviously. And these are delivery vans, and they go a lot of stop and go. Size a little bit better, but we're gonna replace the pads, rotors, and the wear sensors. And wear sensors comes with the brake pads. Let's go pull the rears off so we can inspect them and make sure vehicle is safe on the road. We're gonna go inspect the rear brakes. Rear brakes appears to be much more worn out than the front ones. Normally on these we do front brakes more often than the rear. Put him on the counter. Yeah, all right. Okay, she doesn't want to come in without a mask. That is fine. You need a flashlight to be able to see better. I'm not sure if it's visible on the camera, but the inner pad is gone on this side. And we're gonna go take a look at the rear one still because it's kind of weird. Same here. Inner pad is somewhat okay, and the outer pad is gone. Okay. Okay. Now, first thing, it's very common that the wheel guides, because this van has a stud type, so it's very difficult to change tires. So they have a wheel guides, and these wheel guides also serve as a retainer for the rotors when you're installing them, so they don't fall out. And but they're very common, 12 millimeter, but you can never get them out with 12 millimeter wrench or socket. They always seize in, so we always heat them up a little bit and use a vice grip to take them out, and you can always reuse them. So before we start, we're gonna use a mini torch. I'm gonna use a mini torch, this, and they don't need to be cherry red. You just need to heat them up enough, because they also have a Loctite, and for some reason they're at the factory they used red Loctite. Mechanics would know the red Loctite is stronger. It's much more difficult to break it loose. I don't know why they use that. So gonna heat them up, and this much heat actually expands the metal and cracks the Loctite, so we can loosen them up easily. So there's two of them on each wheel, and I'm gonna show you only one wheel because both sides are same. And so I hope I'm not boring anybody. I'm gonna put the torch away for a second, and we're gonna grab a vice grip. There you go. This one's loosened up. So, and we have rubber caps for the caliper pins. They go here, and in here there is they're 6 millimeter, I believe. Honestly, I use them all the time, and they are 6 millimeter, inverted hex or Allen wrench, some may call. So we're gonna take these out. Then we will remove these bigger ones, and these, they always have a weather coating on, and we might have to chip the coating away before we can get the socket fitted in. So and use a small magnet to pick him out because they're kind of small. Just like that. And I'm just gonna use a flat tip screwdriver to push the piston back a little bit, and so we can take the caliper out. And since we're replacing the brake pads, we don't need the sensors because the new sensors will be supplied with the new pads. Okay, we can remove the pads, and you can save one so you can use it as an adapter. To push the brake caliper pistons back, because if you don't push the pistons back, new pads will be thicker and they won't fit. And also when you're pushing the brake calipers back, that will also help you diagnose if there are any issues with the hydraulics, such as hanging up or a seized caliper or a collapsed brake hose. So, and for now, these calipers, pistons seems to be okay. They're going back fine. And also, the van has about 42,000 miles. So, this caliper is okay. Pistons went back, no problem. So we don't want to hang the caliper off the hose. So you can make a tool like this, or you can buy one because they sell these things. So you don't stress the brake hose. All right. And now I'm going to use a bigger tool. gonna be noisy. As I mentioned, these are big bolts and they have a red thread locker on them. And lots of it. And a coating. See, that's the thread locker. Red. It's very difficult to break loose. Makes it very difficult to get it out. I couldn't fit the Allen wrench or a hex bit because it was coated. This stuff, and I used this. It's a T Torx 70 actually, and that works as well because it breaks the this coating off and it gets it grips really good. Otherwise, the hex head won't get in. So. Now on these, since they're loose, we can use the regular wrench. Get them out. And another way, because this rotor is actually seized on right now, and so we're gonna use a hammer to beat it out. Just make sure don't hit anything else other than the rotor itself. Otherwise you will be in trouble. And this is the rust I was talking about. It just seizes on the hub, and we're gonna clean this area. So our new rotor goes on flush, so it doesn't cause any vibration or pulsation. Let me go heat the other side up so I don't torch propane. I didn't forget you guys. I am heating those wheel guides. now there are a couple of dimples here that the rust build up. You gotta clean those out. So that way you move water flush, sit flush. So, as clean as possible. You can also use a torch because those rust spots, if you heat them up, it flakes off like a cornflakes. They're oxidation. I don't know if you guys can see, there is a liquid appearing on the surface of the rotor. That is actually water, because in the winter the moisture actually gets absorbed into the cast iron, and actually it accelerates the rusting. So that is actually why we recommend riding the brakes once in a while, so you can heat everything up and dry up those moisture. Okay, perfect. As clean as it can be. So Now we're gonna grab our never cease or anti-rust compound, and we're just gonna put some around the areas that where moisture gets in, right here, and some around here. So this will actually make sure, it will actually make the next job easier. So, right? So, it doesn't have to be perfect. Also, here's what we do. This area, we put some never sees around there too. So, just like that. And we need to clean out these guides. On the bench grinder, the wire brush. And put some anti-seize on these threads, so hopefully next time we don't need to use the vice grip. Alright, we're gonna hang our rotor here. Just like that. And put one guide in there, and put another guide. All right, they don't need to be really tight, they just have to hold the rotor in there, and guide the wheel in if you have a flat tire or changing tire or whatever. All right, now okie, that's it. If you go too tight, you will strip these things, so you don't really need to go that tight. And for some reason, actually, since the Fiat bought Chrysler, all the Chrysler vehicles suck. They have all weird designs and unusual issues and a bunch of other stuff. So and we're gonna make sure the caliper brackets are clean. There are anti-rattle clips and the bracket itself. So we use a wire brush to brush the any rust or buildup. Then put that on later on. And brush this off. Normally, sometimes there is so much rust built up here. We use a grinder to grind out the rust. But this is a fairly new van, and no rust. Brakes were not seized. So, and we're gonna just use the brush off the dust. And continue with the installation. So these clips, they ensure pads stay in the bracket snugly, and they also make sure that they don't rattle when you're not using the brakes. All right. Normally we replace these hardware, but they look okay. Again, it's a fairly new truck, so we're not gonna bother. So now let me go get the pads. We use power stops, ceramic pads. There are one cheaper option available, but we don't use those. These are really good, very low dust, no noise. They last a long time. There are of course expensive ones, but this is a company car. They don't go for that. So next tip is, before you install the pads, apply this never seize to the contact points. So, and that way the pads doesn't stick when you release the brake pedal, and they last longer time. They were the inner pads. I'm sorry, they were the outer pads. The inner pads, they have the sensors built in. So that's why I cut the old cord off the old sensor, because we're not going to need it. It's going to be destroyed anyway. So we're using the new pads with the new sensors. So now we're gonna snug this back onto the vehicle, and we don't need to use those Loctites. First we're gonna snug fit them so we don't cross thread them when we use the gun on it to tighten it down. And now I need my socket, and I'm gonna run it down evenly. Okay, that's tight enough. And one with the sensor is inner, snugly, and one without the sensor, the outer one, and it's nice and snug. Now we're gonna check the caliper pins, and caliper pins are nice and free. So caliper pins are nice and free. By the way, these are Brembo brakes. Brembo is a really good company. They make really good stuff, and so I don't want to put the caliper in a wrong position. Okay, now remember these bolts. Snug fit, so no cross threading here. And then we're gonna use our air wrench. Put the 6mm L. So don't tighten it all the way. Snug the top in place. Then you can torque it down. You can torque it down so they would be even. No crooked fitting, anything like that. Okay, now don't forget to put the caps back on. These caps keeps these slides protected from the dust, dirt, moisture, water. We're gonna remove this old sensor. I generally hold it with a plier so I can take this one out and install the new one in. This slides onto this bracket. Battery ran out on my GoPro, so for some reason it didn't actually allow me to make a video for one wheel. So the final task is there's a little guide here and a bracket, so you're gonna route this wire so it doesn't get tangled with the wheel as the wheel rotates, and plug the wear sensor plug in. That's it. So this is the one side, the front I did, and obviously right front is 99.9% same, hence it's the other side, the procedure is same. And the one culprit, one of these guide, when I was removing it, it actually broke. So I would have to remove the broken piece from the hub so I can install a new one. And other than that, that's it. If anyone has a question or comment about this kind of work or any other kind of work, or here we do everything from A to Z. And I hope I helped someone. Thank you for watching.